Hello, and welcome to Powerful Places Podcasts. I'm your host, Gary White, and today we will hear our marketing director, Rana Khatib, interviewing me about our recent trip to Paris. This podcast is available either in audio form or with video, so take your pick and let's get started.
So, Gary, what took you to Paris?
Well, Ellen was going to Paris for a course.
Mm-hmm.
She does felting, and there was going to be a course in Paris that she wanted to go to, and I thought, oh, well, I'll tag along. I'll just go along with her, and what will I do? Maybe, I can see things. I'll go to the Louvre. No, well, Ellen would be disappointed that she didn't get to the Louvre. Or I would go to another museum. And no, Ellen would be disappointed if she didn't get to do that. And I thought, I've got to find something that she will not be disappointed with. Well, Ellen doesn't like high places. She is afraid of high places. I'm never going to get to the top of the Tour Eiffel with Ellen. She'd never go. Fine, I'll go.
Okay.
I'll go to these high places. So I thought, what are the high places in Paris? I went online and looked up all of the relative elevations of places in Paris. And it turns out that the Tour Eiffel is the highest place in Paris.
Is it?
Because they will not okay any building that's taller than that tower. So that is an absolute limit. So, okay, the Tour Eiffel, and there are others. There's a tower at Montparnassse that is right up there. It's 56 floors up. So I made a list of these high places in Paris, and when we went, I started clicking them off. So that's how the idea started. And I did a little preliminary research and got my Paris pass that allows free or discounted entry into all of these places. Went to Paris and started seeing high places.
And you ended up visiting those places, actually.
Yes, not all of them. I didn't get to all of them or on my list. The first place I went was the tower at Montparnasse. It's a skyscraper. It's 56 floors up with a fast elevator. They bill it as the fastest elevator in Paris, and it indeed is. It's one of those that you leave your heart about 3 inches lower than it started. So you're instantly up to this 56th floor. I was there along with literally hundreds of Japanese tourists.
Interesting.
Because the buses pulled up and they just spilled out hundreds of Japanese tourists, all with their cameras to take the pictures at the top of this Tour Montparnasse. And it was raining. So I got up there. It was all rainy outside, and you could barely see out to it. But when I came in, they took a picture of everyone.
Right.
They're going to sell that at the end as a souvenir. So I stood for my picture, and then I went around looking, and you can go all the way around the top of this building, and you see every angle on Paris, and then you can climb up from there, 2 floors up. And you're actually on the roof of the building, and you're out in open air.
Oh, wow.
Yes, you couldn't. It's not dangerous because they have fences, and so you can't actually fall off. But you are out in open air.
But how does it feel to be as high in Paris?
It's a little nervy. It feels you get a certain excitement being up that high. So I went all the way around the top of the building, took a bunch of pictures, most of which didn't turn out, and came back and bought my souvenir photograph, which they put Paris at night behind you, and Paris in the daytime behind you, so you could buy these two photographs.
Can we see this photo?
It'll be online. It will be in the slideshow that goes with this. And that was my first high place in Paris. From there, I went to the Tour Eiffel because I had actually scheduled. You have to schedule at the Tour Eiffel in advance because there are many more people who want to get to the top of the in the U.S. we call it the Eiffel Tower, but it is Tour Eiffel in France. You have to schedule in advance because there are only limited number of places to go up the Tour Eiffel.
Okay.
So I appeared at the proper time and started up. And you go up. There are 4 legs at the bottom of the Tour Eiffel.
Right.
And each one of them has its own elevator system. One goes to the restaurant that's on the first floor. And then there are 2 that go up to that level and then on up to the top. So you get in line and go up this elevator that's going at an angle because the legs are at an angle.
Yeah, they're not straight. Yeah, that's
You
true.
take it up to what they call the first floor, which is pretty high. And you can get out and look all the way around at that level. And then there's an elevator that goes up the center of the tower that goes all the way
up
to the top.
Oh, wow.
And that is literally within probably 10 or 15 feet of the top of the Eiffel Tower. And that is a sensation because you step out and you're on this almost needle, and any wind, you can actually feel the whole thing move.
Oh,
yes.
Wow.
I stepped out of the elevator. I looked over, and there were 3 or 4 young ladies who were hanging on for dear life, looking very frightened at being up there. But it's really a sensation because you're moving.
Interesting.
You're actually moving up there. So it was a good place to take pictures, and I got a lot of good pictures because by then the sun had come out and it was all beautiful in Paris.
Wow.
So we'll see pictures in the slideshow from the top of the Tour Eiffel. Interestingly enough, the builder, Mr. Eiffel, made a small office for himself at the top level, and he would invite people up to his little office at the top. And they've kept this office as a kind of miniature wax museum because they have a wax figure of Eiffel sitting in.
And can you actually get into the office?
No, you can't get.
No.
You can look in through the window, and he is in there having a conversation. And who is he having a conversation with? Edison. Edison is sitting there, and another wax figure, and they're talking. And back in the background, his niece is standing, another wax figure. It was all in all, it was worth making the trip up to the top. At the lower level, there's a restaurant and snack bar and movie theater. You can see a kind of history of the building of the tower and so forth. But it was well worth being in the Tour Eiffel. The third place I went was I went to Notre Dame Cathedral, and you can actually climb up into the towers of Notre Dame.
Okay.
No elevators there. You have to actually walk, and it is really quite a walk.
Is it?
They recommend that you be in fairly good physical condition to do that. 300 and some steps up, and
wow.
it's all stone steps going around and around up these towers. So I climbed up to the top, or as far as you can get, in Notre Dame, looking at all of the statues that are so famous up there. There's these they're not actually gargoyles. The gargoyles are for water to drain, but these other statues that are really weird figures, bizarre kinds of animals, an animal eating another animal, and all sorts of very strange figures on there. Why? Who knows? What's this doing in a cathedral? But almost all of the Gothic cathedrals have these kind of really grotesque figures as a part of them. Maybe to keep the evil influences away from the building or some such thing. I don't know. But anyway, I climbed to the top of that, and that was my third place in Paris. Didn't get to a few other places that were on my list, but I felt like I had gotten high in Paris.
Clearly you did. Thank you for sharing.
Go to www.powerfulplaces.com or www.powerfulplaces.info to learn more about us, Ellen Aviva and Gary White, and our travels.